Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name's Alistair and this is Back to Air Pistol. In the last video you might have noticed that my pistol didn't have the standard Feinwerkbau P8X trigger on it. I'd borrowed one from a colleague at my club and I've decided to buy one. So in this video I'm changing this trigger here to something new. So let's get started. So this box arrived the other day. I ordered it at the start of the month. It only took a couple of weeks, which is not bad at all, considering it's come from Germany. It had to get through customs. Did really well. They didn't even open it to see what it was, which is really good. So I'm going to open this up. If you don't mind, I've redacted my address on there. And I will just open this right now and I'll show you what I bought, because you might not have seen what it was in the last video. So we got the invoice, and just to let you know, this trigger shoe cost €74. And here's the little box. Mein Deutsch ist nicht so gut. I'm not really sure how to pronounce the gentleman's name, but his full name is Klaus Dieter, and I'm not sure if it's Lottes or Lotte or what, but we'll call him Lottes. Probably very, very wrong. It comes with a couple of little stickers. There we go, a couple of interesting stickers they put on. And in here we have the attachment screw and the trigger. Oh, it's a spare screw. Oh, that's really handy. Okay. And the reason for that being handy is, one is a hex mount, another one within the pistol itself is a screw. Now the one I borrowed, here it is. I managed to slightly damage, I don't know if you can see that clearly, I managed to slightly damage the head because the standard screwdriver that comes with the Feinwerkbau is too small, and that's what I use at the club because I didn't have anything else and it's damaged that. It's better to use a larger screwdriver like this one I got out of my toolbox. There we go. The head size for the hex is going to be a bit bigger than the one I've got out to take off the trigger that is there. It's a bit larger. Let's see if it's matching what is in the Feinwerkbau toolkit. So the other thing in the Feinwerkbau toolkit is the one for taking the grip off, and that's too big. So find an Allen key that fits that hex and you'll be fine. Okay. Put the board one away. Let's get this out. So, as you can see, it's just a basic shoe. There's no adjustment. It will adjust that way on the pistol, but it doesn't adjust this way. It doesn't adjust that way. It is a very simple shoe. So this trigger shoe that comes with the Feinwerkbau P8X, I told you my German wasn't very good, is very, very adjustable, and it's adjustable as I've shown in other videos. So let me put a bit of white paper under here so you can see this a little bit better. So this is the trigger shoe that comes with the Feinwerkbau, and it is really good. It is really good. You loosen it here, and then it can move in various directions so that it always fits your finger, depending on where it is on the grip. Okay, it is really, really, really good. However, I wasn't too keen on using it, so off it comes. So that's the fine grip bow trigger taken off the pistol, and I'm going to put that to the side. And excuse the slight change in setup here. I've had to put a light behind me here to get a more even light over the pistol. So I have to keep moving forward to block out the light behind me. Anyway, I'm waffling. I'm going to take this trigger shoe and put it aside. There's a little bag there that I can put it in. I can put that back in the toolbox, and it's there for me if I ever decide that I want to go back to it. Obviously, you don't throw anything out. I now have two trigger shoes here. The one that I borrowed with a slightly damaged screw head, I'm going to replace with the new screw head and give that back to my friend. Now I'm left with this one, and that's going to go on here. So to do that, I need obviously an Allen key that fits there, which I found quite readily because it was actually attached to my camera base. Started looking all over and then I found it right in front of me. Let's put this on. I'll move the advertising out the way. Now I must say that this is not a paid for video. I paid for this trigger shoe myself, and Mr. Lottes, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, has no idea I'm making a video. So nice and loose. This is really quite tight to get on, which is good. The other one was too loose, which is why I damaged the screw. We're just going to wiggle it on. There we go. And I was about 3 in. I'm just going to test that, see how it feels. So as you tighten it, you can see there's a bit of movement there. Let me just get a bit closer. There's a bit of movement. So make sure that you're comfortable. Have the pistol set as you want it. And that should be you ready to tighten it. So hold it with your finger and then just give it a tighten. There we go. And give it a proper tighten. It doesn't need a lot because it was already quite tight going in, as you know. Right, that should stop any movement. That's it. So if you watched my setup videos, you'll know that I have a very, very minimal movement within the trigger itself. And that's it. So for me, that's quite comfortable. There we go. But for me, I'm pulling back quite cleanly in the right direction. So the basics behind what I've been saying is, if that's the line of the pistol, the trigger shoe with the fine grip bow could be sitting off at an angle like this, with your finger sitting like that, roughly, if you know what I mean. That's a fingernail. So let's make the trigger shoe better. So although the direction of fire should be, direction of the pull should be this way, it's very possible to inadvertently be pulling like that. So you're pulling back on the trigger because it's at an angle, and the result is the whole pistol gets moved and you end up shooting in the wrong place. That's why I don't really like that angle. When your trigger control is really good, then that will be pulling back the way. But you have to have very good trigger control. And even though once upon a time I had it, it isn't there yet. And I'm finding that I am at times pulling a bit too suddenly, which is likely to cause that movement to change, the angle of the barrel to change like that. So I've gone for a fixed, it's a slightly curved trigger, blade, which sits in line like that. And it's encouraging my finger to come more onto the pad like that. There's still a possibility of a movement that way, but the placement of the trigger shoe, I can bring it further back so that my finger's coming in more of an angle like that. And then the pressure should be coming back the way, this way. That's the theory. It seemed to work for me. You decide yourself if something like this is better for you than a fully adjustable trigger like the one that Finder Bow gives us. They give it to us for a reason, and it is a really good trigger, but if your trigger control isn't 100%, I would suggest going for one like that instead. Right, back to the pistol. So that's my new trigger on the pistol. Now, obviously I had the opportunity to have a loan of one of these before I bought. Not everybody's going to have that possibility given to them. If you can, please try and do so, because changing from one type of trigger to another it's not easy. It might throw you quite a little bit, and it might take a bit of time to get used to it. So I had that trigger for a good 3-4 months, to be honest. And I even took it to the Scottish Target Shooting 10-metre Championships a couple of months ago. It was my second championships I've been to. I used that trigger and I had no issues at all when I was there. And I'm saying that because when you go to a major championship, and that for me is a major championship, it's a small one to most people, but it's a Scottish National Championship, the nerves are raised a little bit. Your anxiety is raised. It's a great test of how you fare under pressure. And when you're under pressure, the little things that aren't quite right are magnified hugely. So if I'd been putting up with the trigger and just getting on with it at the club, when I went to the championships, if there was an issue with it, it would have been magnified, and I'd have been very aware this is a problem. Went to the championships, I shot better than I had done previously. I'm still not shooting as high scoring as I would like to be, but I don't think I ever will be. I'm now 61 years old. I peaked at 30, and I don't think that's really going to happen again. But I'm enjoying my shooting. It's slowly improving. And had that trigger been wrong for me, it would have shown up. So what did show up was the fact I might need to start filling out this grip a little bit. I'm very reluctant to do anything to this grip, but I might have to get my fingers in the right place. I'm waffling again, which is very well known for me, especially when making a video. So I think that's enough to say thank you very much for watching. I hope this has been a benefit to you, and see you in the next one. Bye for now.